자, 킹덤 컴 이어서 플레이해보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘은 뭘 할 거냐면요, 요거 왕의 책략 시의회에 잠입하시오. 그 조폐국장이 나한테 캥기는 게 많거든. 여기구만. 뭐하냐? 오랜만이야?
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again. I'll call the guard.
면상 오랜만이다.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the city council assembly, and I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
왕 같은 소리 하고 있네.
Sigismund's just a usurper. Wenceslas is the only true Bohemian king.
Singing Ruthard song, eh? And tell the truth.
상조사회 진출하고 싶습니다. 당신 알 바 아닙니다.
Oh, really? Then,
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel?
all right, all right. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, and that will be the end.
오케이, 알았어. 결정은 내가 한다.
I must have misheard you. Our business will be over when I say it is, not before. So pull your head out your ass and...
All right, Jesus. No need to lose your temper. You can get into the council.
이런 애 좀 강압적으로 해줘야 돼.
Easily. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he
누구
can be
못 봤는데 뭐라고?
persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although not everyone would want to give up an opportunity.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name.
프란타 쿨다운.
He's an idler and a boozer, but he which
웨이터로 위장을 해라.
you need his letter of permission to
프란타의
serve. Otherwise
황에서.
you
오케이. 뭐가
What
필요하지?
will I need to...
fast feet and good manners. And the
왕실
livery of-
웨이터의 제보.
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn
Well,
오케이.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king.
Where can I find the...
He's supposed to pick up his, that is, if he's up and...
the what?
That German alehouse, the
독일
Iron Eagle.
맥주집, 철독수리.
I'll be
오케이,
going.
알았어.
Just make...
간다. 여기 상자가 많네. 근데 잠깐만, 너 내가 이거 훔쳐가도 말 못하지? 아, 얘는 못 훔치네. 아, 쉣. 이런 것만 훔칠 수 있다. 겨자를 왜 넣어놓는 거야 여기? 야, 못 본 척한다. 얘 나한테 캥기는 게 많아가지고 못 본 척하네. 이래서 사람이 죄를 짓고 살면 안 돼. 어디라고?
Delicious pears!
Finest canvas.
Whether it rains or pours, something here is
뭐야?
never a chore.
얘인데? 프란타 쿨다운.
Master Taylor, have you got those clothes for me?
Here they are. The best fabric. The finest work. I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons. I'll tell you, you won't get work like that just anywhere.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost, but they're first class, I have to admit. Thanks, Schneider. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks.
Come and take a look.
뭐야? 여기야? 한 번에 다 하는 거야? 엄마,
God bless you, sir.
이거 왕실
You
웨이터?
must be Franta Cooldown.
I am.
I'm Henry.
난 헨리.
I heard you're supposed to serve at the city...
I am.
내가 더 잘할 수
The
있어.
thing is, that job is just my thing.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that. Them
Also?
councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
죽는 거보다 낫지 않아? 왕에게 중요한 소식을 전해야 해. 왕을 내놓는.
I just have to get in there, understand? I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it. So I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right then.
아,
To
멍청한 애구나.
begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
야, 와인 내가 전문가야, 임마.
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you.
시종장한테
Think up some
보여주면
good
돼.
excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it cut.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you. I promise.
You better not. God be with you, good sir.
Like no other.
나 얘한테 그러면은 얘기를 안 했어도 되는 거야? 됐네.
Pots for sale. Big strong
2번?
pots. Pots
오케이,
here.
가자. 여긴가 본데. 여기다. 아, 너야? 공제? 안녕하세요.
Franta Cooldown sent me.
Franta's not coming.
취했습니다.
He got
맨날
as
술 먹는다고
drunk as a
했으니까.
lord. Totally pie-faced. Then he fell into a ditch, and now he's staggering around the streets, God knows where.
I might have expected. Once, he turned up with a hangover, and as soon as he smelt wine, he threw up all over the chapel door. I told him if that ever happened again, he was for the boot. Oh, well, you'll have to take his place for today. I've no time to find someone else. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure.
가져왔지.
Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You won't be needing it anyway. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
물론이죠.
I'm no greenhorn. I have plenty of experience.
Oh, I see. But allow me to give you one. Sir Adam of Zarjitz will be among the guests.
자르치지?
Don't pour wine for him.
자르지치?
Otherwise he'll get drunk and disgrace us all in front of the king. And in general,
줘야 되겠구만.
a good waiter has to be invisible.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes. But only to what anyone wants from you. Understood?
내가 실수하면 어떻게
What if
되지?
I make a mess?
Then I'll see to it that you won't get a job.
shit.
But I'm sure that's not...
I
간다.
know everything I need to.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load.
하인용 쪽방? 오케이. 포도주를 본다.
Pictures of wine.
A recurring
Hopefully I
buff
won't
and
splash
asthma
anyone's
is a joke.
shoes.
And on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it.
You there,
Should the
lad,
town reserve
a
have
cup of
worse
red.
weapons than any
Don't you
Räuber
skip
in the
앤드류 폴러. Yes, sir.
Getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbush.
리포터?
Come now, waiter. I wanted
hand
red.
cannon. Can you
I
believe it?
apologise, sir.
Where did
Which
they get
wine?
them?
Monastery
You're the one
red.
who should know where they got them. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons
yeah.
than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
Come now,
What
waiter.
is it,
I wanted red.
적포도주.
What I smell is that your
Yes.
stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running
백포도주,
free.
적포도주.
There are
Okay.
Hauptritter everywhere in the
could
region.
shove that down,
We have
teacher.
the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly?
얘 왜 안 줘? 여기다 줘. 이거 이상한데 이거? 야, 얘 빨라대는데? 수도 포도주?
I apologize, sir. Which wine?
Red! Am I speaking in Latin?
싸가지 겁나 없네. 밑에 개가 있다 이거.
Good, sir.
Well, thank the Lord.
오케이.
I'd like to report to the honorable...
I suspect the gentleman from the
Boy,
city sword
I'd like
fighting
some
school
white.
brought this custom to us. It's now run by the German Menhard. Who knows who that fellow is?
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker. You act like you've never been in a fight
Sir?
yourself. And to accuse a swordsmaster...
너 나중에 두고 봐. 나한테 이런 거 시켜?
Vanish!
We're
You
not
hear
some
me?
old fishwives in the marketplace.
What's wrong?
So you will just leave it be?
Are you afraid everything will
Proven
come out?
offences are punished by the
I've no
bailiff.
idea what
And
you're
that's
talking
that.
about. Keep to our
There are
agreement.
more pressing
Go!
matters to deal with.
More pressing than the
We'll see
open
about that.
contempt of the whole town garrison. Hey, the guards are apparently settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day long.
Hey!
So what if they have one more reason?
Refill, sir.
My words
Do you think I come to the
exactly.
council just to
The
guzzle
town
wine?
council is
Come here!
squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you,
What can I help you with?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you
We'll never get
All right.
anywhere like this.
I knew I could. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have. Because I'm bored.
새끼 눈치 챈 거 같은데 이거? 누나 빨리 갔다. 이거
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
몰라. 한 10개라고 하지 뭐. 여기다.
So. I found your. Really? And did you count those?
24개입니다.
And you counted correct, so
Oh,
you can
진짜?
have a bit of fun in the evening.
Just a
맞았어?
kind of dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is
거지 같은
dragging
놈들.
on, and in the meantime,
이런 거 시켜?
they are
인격
calling
모드
diocesan
모르게 이거.
pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery,
I'll
and
have
they
a
are
cup
going
of
to
wine.
Mockerol mining city.
Okay.
Why can't we build faster?
하벨?
Craftsmen start with
야,
night shifts.
하벨 씨.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a band of parasites.
야, 하벨은 내가 손님 아니냐 지금?
You, lad.
And if they
You
do
look
come,
familiar to me.
their work is shit.
Have we met?
And you have to pay someone else to put it
I really
right.
couldn't say, sir.
It's a waste.
I have a
of time.
feeling I've
I tell
spoken with you
a
before
waste
too,
of time.
or with someone who looks
don't
a
interrupt
hell of a
the
lot
proceedings
like
with
you.
your drunken ranting, even if you are in the right. And as for you, Endelin, haven't you noticed there's a
이
wall
펑크 잘못하면 죽는 거야. 여기 그냥
Are
다
the
죽어.
experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides,
아, 얘
I get the
걔구나.
feeling
칼싸움
there's
했던
something
걔.
other than the
Hey,
welfare
boy.
of the city
Full
behind
cup
your
of monastery
complaints.
wine.
Oh, you do? Do you?
I
And
apologize,
what
sir.
would that be?
Which wine?
Like,
Red.
for instance,
Am I
that you'd
speaking
like
in
to have
Latin?
your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen. That space in the side nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, my friend. Your place.
됐나? 아, 그지 같은 거.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
As an altucek össe, elegiop katonaikat, is kelkinek utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Unlike this band of fives!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Gutenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep him mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
자, 돌아다녀 봅시다. 아, 돌아다닐 수가 없구나. 왕의 책략, 브라반트, 라피아와 그의 호위사. 브라반트부터 할까요? 브라반트가 누구야? 이제 비켜라, 눈치가 없어. 너가 브라반트? 아, 얘 걔구나. 그 독일 그 기사. 안녕?
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gutenberg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron. I have.
Ah, je suis désolé. This Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children, and even women fighting. But the clergy? Sainte Mère, do tell me about it. No doubt you fought on the side of...
아, 말 진짜 더럽게만 해. 코소보 전투.
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
The Lord moves in mysterious ways. And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX.
근데
How
왜
come
모르지?
almost nobody here knows?
I am operating, as they say. My great benefit is my strong connection with the... There, everyone knows my name.
얘 이상한데 이거. 얘 정상이 아닌데. 얘야? 라삐. 사무엘. 사무엘?
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you looking for friends among us?
Let us say rather that we have chosen a side. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
You'll get to know each other better. He should be coming here later, by the way. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the
이 새끼
name
우리 아빠 어떻게 알아?
Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world.
Huh?
For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one.
Huh?
Mom raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another
그럼
bastard.
이걸 뭐라고 해야 돼? 이복 형제도 아니고 이건 뭐야?
As far as I
엄연히
know,
따지면 남 아니야?
Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
As it happens, I've got nothing better to do anyway.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. At a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
왜 이런 일을 하는 걸까?
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths, and also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
사고방식이 독특하군요.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
실패하면 어쩌죠?
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome.
왜 나한테 하죠?
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
여기 온 귀족들에 대해 더 자세히 알려주십시오.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
나 여기서 발트슈타인의 안나 얘는 지나가다가 한번 본 것 같거든? 쿤스 다트의 보체크? 얘도 이름이 낯설지 않은데?
Bocek of Kunststadt.
맞아. 나도 이름은 들었는데 정확히 모르겠어. 나랑 똑같은 말 하네.
Just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game because he doesn't like to take risks.
그래?
He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen.
하만 알데르. 얘는 아예 누군지 모르겠어.
Wasn't he a cutler?
He still
의원이야.
is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered.
여기 다 와 있어.
But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers.
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz.
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us?
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth, and that it was thanks to her.
I'll get on it then.
되나?
Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck.
마신다.
Success to our plans.
자, 쭉쭉 빨아. 잔을 다시 거기다 넣는다고? 아니, 야, 그럼 마시는 척만 한 거 아니냐? 발트슈타인의 안나. 잠깐만. 싹 보자. N부터 해볼까? 밑에 있네.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek, and he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe.
Martin
얘인데?
likes to exaggerate. He was talking about the sorry nags even when they belonged to someone else.
Nags? What nags? These are the best thoroughbreds east of Prague.
마틴 이 아저씨. 이 아저씨 그 아저씨구나. 옛날에 만났던 그 아저씨고. 얘 누구더라? 얼굴이 되게 낯익은데?
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation?
Father?
Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then.
Shit.
What are you doing here?
전 특사로 온 겁니다.
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, He was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Older.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
너 누군데?
I'm not happy about it. This isn't how I imagined my first meeting with
형제야.
my brother.
어디 싸가지 없이 형한테.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back. Yeah.
In my eyes, not at my
괜찮아?
sword.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. You're fast. Yeah.
Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arm.
That was sneaky.
You don't know which end of that thing is up.
Enough. That will do.
왜 그러는 거야?
My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that?
아빠한테.
Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the Archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
아, 야, 개 시끄러, 씨. 개 좀 조용히 시켜라.
Talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brought
개 짖는 소리 좀 안 나게 해라.
threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
I've
우리
got
편을
to get him
만들어야
on
돼.
our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into action.
But after your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
좋아, 말해주마.
All right, then.
동생아.
You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
씨, 아니, 그 룸사롱 한 번으로 이거 퉁친다고? 좋아, 알았어.
why we mustn't push too hard.
얘인데 보체크?
I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips, and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men at arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men at arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of
야, 내
suitable
동생이
standing
있잖아.
who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
오, 저는 어떻습니까? 아이씨, 저는 어떻습니까? 아이씨, 방심하고 있는데 빵 터졌네. 아, 저는 어떻습니까? 개웃기네. 리히텐슈타인경, 케이펀 영주. 이거 너무 쓰레기고. 아, 여자를 아직 못 봤는데 어떻게 해? 케이펀 팔아?
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
아, 그렇지. 경험이 부족하진 않아.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over Rattay and seems quite happy with that state of affairs. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
케이프경에 전달하겠습니다.
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon. If he agrees, we can celebrate our alliance.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
너 방금 일어나서 앉지 않았어? 하누시 어딨니? 여기 좀 난처하게 됐다?
A nightingale surrounded by hawks. Job's the nightingale. He looks more like a wet hen to me.
Godwin, we didn't have much time for conversation on the way here.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, what are you expecting from today's gathering?
Well, I have no great expectation, but all going well, as long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual...
I couldn't help but notice you're...
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice. Although, if they'd...
Wise words. Still...
You know, I am.
May God... Where did you leave Sir Divish?
Haven't you heard? Ladies, no one even imagined Divish would produce...
As they say, doesn't matter
잠깐만.
who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle.
어? 아, 잠깐만. 아니지? 아니지? 아니, 그 탈레버그 그 영주 와이프랑 헨리랑 약간 한번 실수를 한 적이 있거든요? 헨리가? 아니겠지 설마? 나중에 3편 나오면은 헨리랑 닮은 애 나오고 막 그러는 거 아니야? 아, 의지 같네. 자, 라이파의 한우씨.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I was the one who arranged the betrothal. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bushek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yitka.
Bushek of Kunstadt? The Bushek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you! And to your parlaying skills.
그래 잘 됐네. 내가 중매 엄청 잘하거든. 내가 중매해서 내가 소개팅 해줘가지고 결혼시킨 애들 엄청 많아요. 좋아 잘 됐다. 야 잘 됐다. 어떻게 하다 보니까 잘 돼버렸다. 야 오케이 했어 오케이.
Your niece Yitka.
So Hanush agreed.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of...
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink.
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
이렇게 영업하기가 힘들어. 영업하려면 이렇게 비용 맞추고 그래야 됩니다. 힘들어. 이 아줌마구나. 발슈타인의 안나. 이 아가씨.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
How do you know Liechtenstein's behind it?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly have doubts about the Margrave's plans. But they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein, on the contrary, sees his opportunity.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor.
오케이 좋아
Do you
좋아.
have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has
뭔데?
something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harmon Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
어떤 소린데요?
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
야, 이 아줌마 괜찮은 아줌마야?
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
동맹의 문건은 가짜 서류는 어떤 거죠?
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
위험한
Have
적이
you
많으시군요.
fallen out with the town councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
All
도와드릴게요.
right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags,
안창준.
which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
오데린의 마부가 지켜보고 있다. 허허, 이거 사람 난처하게 만드네 이거. 내 전문이지.
Take a look at that.
샥, 샥. 얘가 보고 있다고? 샥. 어디 있어? 샥. 아무도 없는데?
Hey, you! What are you
네?
doing here? No one's allowed in.
I'm just
죄송합니다.
reading any.
That won't please Lord Odorin.
잠깐만, 나 걸린 거야 그러면? 성공은 했는데? 얘 화장실 갔다 왔었나 봐. 오케이.
Even though Yobster's right, I'm in favor of
야, 1트에 성공했다.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
그 대신 눈치가 없어져.
With all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words.
어우 진짜, 화끈하시네 아줌마.
Thank you, noble lady. God will.
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain. Godwin.
또 먹어? 아 그래. 오늘 이미
How could
건강을
I
위하여
refuse a
먹어.
toast with such a fine lady?
And to the success of...
토하는 거 아니야 이거? 술 겁내 먹었다 나 지금.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goals to the successful
나 너무
conclusion of the
취했는데.
negotiations.
아, 이 할배 씨.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
맞아.
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bojek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords.
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas
역시
is,
신고 할아버지
by the
닮았는데?
will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
너 이제 끝났어.
Hanush,
너의
Radzik,
청춘은
and I
끝났다.
will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult.
And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
아, 얘 걔구나. 술 주지 말라는 애. 엄청 좁지
Your
내가.
insolence just cost you your place on the
잘했구만.
council and a month in the dungeon.
나이스.
But hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt.
야, 이 조졌는데?
Was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire,
뭐 드릴까요?
you are harsh, boy. Can't you see the king's cup is empty?
아, 죄송합니다.
You tend to us as if we were firm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine.
수던 포도주요?
Monks had a good
요건가요?
year. We have concerns, friend. The
저
Hungarians
포도주인가?
are rebelling. Our army
안녕히
is
계세요.
falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year.
아, 네.
If our father
감사합니다.
were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of my sister's reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
맞았다. 또 갖다 줄까?
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet.
이게 그러니까 얘가 어쨌든 계엄을 발동한 거 아니야. 그래서 정권을 뺏은 거랑 마찬가지죠 지금. 지금이랑 되게 비슷한 상황이지 뭐.
At least among themselves. Yops does everything he can to show
아야 음악 소리 너무 시끄럽다.
victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red.
네, yes sir.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more
독약을 좀
cities
탈 수 없나?
and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
나 술 겁나 잘 마신다.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank
감사합니다.
you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
그렇게 나빠 보이지
Why?
않는데?
You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
얘가 나 못 알아보네. 너 나 못 알아보냐?
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Raposh.
어?
Alderin won't get
진짜? 베르고프가 거기로 향했대는데? 군사들 데리고? 나 지금 여기서도 되는 거야?
We can handle Ruthard easily.
아니 잠깐만 가서 알려줘야 될 것 같은데?
After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No.
아 네.
We shall have white. We
아,
have
화이트?
half of red.
화이트 먹을 거야?
Quickly.
네.
Bosch falls. Others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
Need be. We could use it to
화이트라고
raise
그랬잖아
the
마지막에
town
그지?
too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
아 얘네 그 소리구나. 이거 지금 그 대포를 거기다 겨눈다는 소리지.
The councillors are
장난감
quite
얘기가
sure
그
already
대포
that
얘기구나.
they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right.
야 베르고프면 나 걸리는 거
So
아니야?
then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Margaret loves him. Didn't he say that Lord Kunstadt was going with them? No, same name is not
Kulturen mater, sempiter
나 왜 이래? 나 완전 꽐라됐는데?
You in need of something, well-oiled friend.
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows. Touching. Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more years and I'll become a professional mourner.
See now. I'll gladly drink to that with you. Only there's nothing to drink. We've run dry.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
아 이거 가져가자 하고 있네. 이거 사과고. 술 깨는 약이 없나? 잠깐만. 캐모마일. 손수국탕. 숙취. 이거 하나 마시자. 아니 그리고 그 베르고프가 일로 지금 온다고 그러지 않았어 아까? 나는 지금 모르는 척 해야 되는 거잖아. 이런 데 있을까?
Well, that's not bad at all.
아니 지금 이럴 때가 아닌 것 같은데. 이런 귀족들이 마시고 있는 쉣 방금이야. 나가봐. 마틴 오데리.
Yes.
어?
First you ridicule me in
아,
front of
아빠.
Alder, and now I find out you're sneaking.
제가요?
I should have known you'd turn your servants into
And you're as drunk as a fiddler.
아빠도
to boot.
마찬가지인데?
And I intend to get even more drunk.
My what?
A distinguished guest.
I'll see about that. And you, get out of my sight. You reek.
아니 아빠
Just
왜
look at
이래?
him.
하인다샤.
May
야
I interrupt you? You already...
What's the matter?
진짜 와인.
One of the most esteemed guests, or all over the place. You... I meant the really fine one.
No way. Sir Martin or...
Have you seen the state he's in? Anyway.
오케이.
All right.
지하실 탁자.
Now off
오케이.
you go and leave us...
오케이 지하실 탁자에 있다.
But you know my answer. I appreciate your friendship, but I'd rather run my own affairs.
How come you're still here?
찔떡대는 거야 지금?
Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hun?
All hail Jobst. He sorted out things here nicely. But you know how it goes. I explained to the Margrave that I'm too old and fond of my cup.
Did you at least...
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle, Potstein. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here.
But there are 2 castles in Rattay. I'd bet
라타이가
my right
짱이지.
arm, old Hanush, will...
What? In Rattay?
Deal with him yourself, though.
이 아줌마 이 넘어가면 안 돼 이 새끼. 타짜요.
Greetings, friend. Good to see you, friend.
지하실 어떻게 돼?
Name is Bruce.
아 여기구나. 여기네. 이거다. 백포도주.
Everybody likes a drop of white.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rootheart. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir!
There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
왔나 본데?
That's Peter of Pisac. He wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
홀리. 야, 문 닫어.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
오.
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
와. 야, 잠깐만. 나 고디인으로 해야 돼, 그러면? 잡혀간다. 할배 잡혀간다. 야, 아빠랑 할배 잡혀가. 동생을 구하래. 어딨어? 야, 내 동생. 비켜.
I still can't quite do that.
야, 동생아, 싸우지 마. 내가 할게.
Hey! One step back! Stand your ground! Get the fuck! Smack him on the head!
Now you're bored.
Now you'll die! Try those horses out!
뭐하니?
You're not up to it!
I need a hand here.
Smash him on the head! Bad!
진짜 짜증나네.
Do it!
To hell with you!
Brace yourself!
뭐야? 헨리야? 야씨, 죽었다 이제. 헨리다. 뭐 어떻게 가야 돼? 잠깐만, 나 옷이 아직 근데 이거잖아. 오케이, 간다.
Go!
빨리 가. 오케이. 내려. 나 진짜 답답하네 이거.
You're... Smash your other arm! The victory is done here.
잡았어?
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Fuck me. Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin.
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone all right?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Kunrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but not everyone was so lucky.
Where did they go? Back to Rattay?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while.
Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't
Oh.
stand a chance against those butchers.
그 아줌마 죽었어?
May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the
shit.
wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother.
But only almost. Good work.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. Nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Botchek.
Well, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchek's a money-grabbing magpie. But I wouldn't give up on the fucker either.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Berghow took them.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
He wanted Odorin. He probably had no idea they'd find most of Sigismund's enemies here in one place.
I bet he couldn't believe his fucking luck.
And Sigismund will be moving at a gallop. We have to be really careful now. One wrong move, and he'll hang the lords.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey. Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. He could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too.
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it.
What have they done that the Lord is punishing them like this?
아, 씨. 아, 그 아줌마 죽었어? 자, 야, 손대지 마. 다 내 거야. 오케이, 됐어. 다 먹었다. 한스, 괜찮니?
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Waldstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
오케이. 그랬고. 뭐 말 시키는 애 또 없어? 잠을 잔다 했다 여기. 얘한테 가라고. 얘한테. 사무엘.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes two of us.
Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now is not the right time. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to...
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry?
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.